You're rolling.
I'm rolling, okay. So, I don't know if I can identify the moment, but around the time that I got pregnant, I started reading all of these parenting books.
What kind of book?
Parenting books. And a lot of them were rooted in Buddhism, actually. And so the first thing that I read that I thought absolutely became the course of how I wanted to parent was a Buddhist, I don't know if you call it like a parable or a philosophy, but it's what it says is, prepare the child for the path, do not prepare the path for the child. And I thought, it completely spoke to me when I heard that, because I think that that is what I see a lot of parents doing, is that they're sort of, if their child has some kind of an affliction, they kind of want the entire world to accommodate whatever that is, rather than teaching that child how to advocate for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I can trace when I really felt that that happened in this country it was in the 1990s, when there was a private school in New York City where a kid had a peanut allergy, and the parents went to the school, and the principal said, well, if your child has a peanut allergy, then we're just going to make the whole school peanut free.
Mm.
And I remember when that happened thinking, well, that's a little crazy, because as it turns out, Dave has several peanut allergic members of his family. And they're fine. I mean, they've learned how to deal with it. And it just seemed like that was the beginning of this era that has now kind of taken over our society, where if there's some kind of a need, then the schools accommodate it and society accommodates it, and I just think it's bad because it doesn't build resilience. So along those lines, when I was reading about this kind of philosophy, I started to read about mindfulness, and that was actually what you alluded to when you were talking about 9/11. And I did not even understand what mindfulness meant for the longest time. To me, it was a really difficult concept to grasp. And all it really means is presence, being present, being aware. I thought it was deeper than that, and it can be deeper than that. It can talk about enjoyment or reflection, but really it's just about not being distracted. And I really became interested in this concept because what I was reading about it was that if you are mindful, then you don't have anxiety, you don't have depression. Not talking about chemical-based anxiety and depression, I mean regular anxiety and depression. And the reason is because when you're anxious, you're thinking about the future, but when you're mindful, you're immersed in what's going on. And that was absolutely altering to me as well, because I wasn't sure how many children I was going to be able to have. And I just decided at that moment that I started to read about this, that I was going to be completely present as much as possible with Maddie, since I wasn't possibly going to get any more chances. And when I was pregnant, I had gone into a park, and there was this toddler eating an ice cream cone, and the mom, I was watching the mother, and is there anything cuter than a toddler eating an ice cream cone? And it was adorable. The kid is like covered with ice cream, and the mother was doing what I think a lot of mothers do, which is she was completely stressed out. She's like, oh my God, I just changed your clothes. I don't have another outfit. You're getting it all over the place. I'm out of cloths. No, you're dripping it over there. And she was so concerned about this kid being sticky and having to go to grandma's house and all that she wasn't enjoying this adorable, it was so cute. And I thought, it's so easy when someone else's kid is doing something for the strangers around to kind of smile and appreciate it, and the mother is always harried, like, ah. And I thought, I don't want to, I'm going to try not to do that. I can't say that I always was successful, but I wanted to be aware of it. I just wanted to make an effort to be aware of it. So What is that? What was that snarky little comment? See, I'm paying attention. So, the mindfulness thing has been completely life-altering, and I have preached it to Dave,
That's true.
taught him about it as well. I use it with all of my clients when I think they're ready to hear about it. And I encourage all of you to explore it if you haven't already, and it's really an amazing way to live and makes you really appreciative. I mean, I'm sort of not afraid of what, you know, when we were talking about the optimism and pessimism thing, part of me really isn't all that pessimistic because I don't think about that far down, and I know that that's not necessarily a good thing, but there's nothing I can do to necessarily change it, so it makes me feel better. So that was it. So that's my mindfulness journey was the turning point, and I definitely embraced it and lived that way since.
Well, but I think the reason that I believe she's 100% right is, I know with members of my own family, and Bill, this can never leave Bona's possession.
This tape, yes, this can never be on the internet.
But also with other people.
You mean I should take it off YouTube right now?
Yes.
People either live in the past or they live in the future, both of which either cause regret or cause anxiety. And as what was the song? Was it Billy Joel who says, "I'm dreaming about tomorrow, so I sacrificed today"?
Yes.
So it sure was a damn waste of time.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And so many people waste their lives living in the past through regret or living in the future through anxiety, that they forget what's going on. So I think the example of the kid with the ice cream all over themselves is a very good one.
It was amazing because it doesn't happen all that often that you get to enjoy those
Right,
moments.
and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, and here we are today, and that's what you have to just enjoy, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And I think that that's a very, very good way to be, and that's why your practice is successful, because you're teaching people that, and they're getting it. So anyway, don't mean to hog on your
No,
point.
you're allowed to
I don't want to hog the point.
No, you're not hogging
I
the
mean,
point.
that's why it's also called a practice, because it's very, very difficult to be mindful and
Very.
be present.
It's
So you have to
so
keep practicing
hard.
and practicing.
It is so hard. It really
It's
is.
true.
It's an everyday choice, and you slip out of, or not you, but the royal you. One slips out of it, and you have to really work to pull yourself back and to enjoy and appreciate. It's not an easy thing to do. But worth it.
You're rolling, Esther.
That's great. Okay.
You're rolling.
So,
This is Ona's sister, Esther Goldline.
gross.
Esther
Gross.
Rose.
Action.
What is your name?
What do you
It's just Esther.
You're Esther, like Cher,
She's just
Groucho,
Esther.
Aristotle.
um,
Because this could be seen 20 years from now. I want people to know who you are.
let her get into the
Oh,
mood.
sister.
Let her, well, I lived my first 20-something years, let's say 3 years, in a totally immature and selfish and trying to grab on to whatever I thought I could survive with. So I made a marriage that I thought I could survive because I knew he would do well successfully and financially and get me away from my home, and he was exciting, and we had children, and then in the playground I met my friend Claire, and Claire, through her friendship and her the amazing woman that she is, that she tolerated me and by example became somebody that I could model myself after. Also introduced me to the idea of having friends, being open, being honest, and I met a group of women through, she introduced me to a conscious raising group, did all that stuff, and then we still meet monthly. Through friendship, through deep honesty and I don't know, examination of myself, changed my life. The course of my life would have been totally different. I had not bumped into this woman or somebody like her, because I was just so filled with trying to survive and get and have things and money and, you know, go to Europe and all these things that I did in my first marriage, and that seemed really important to me. And have a big diamond ring and all this stuff. And all of a sudden I realized, not all of a sudden, but gradually I realized that through a women's group and through having friends, that was the rock of my life. That is the rock of my life still. And family, of course, but we tell it two different ways. I think I met her husband in the playground with, and he said, and our kids were playing, and then he said, you have to meet my wife. And I met Claire through him. He said, no, that didn't happen. I never met you in the playground. She says, I met you in the playground. So I don't know. She said, I was attracted to you because you were the only one that didn't have a nanny, and you were wearing jeans. So I was attracted to you. So anyhow, through our friendship, it's really changed my life. And I've been a very different person than I was born to be.
That's true. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
That,
That's a great story.
it is. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Very nice.
That friendship and
Mhm.
honesty.
How friendships can change your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Otherwise,
Mhm.
again, it's gone. And I just want to say one thing. We formed a women's conscious racing group, and in the women's conscious racing group, one day Larry had thrown a plate of spaghetti at me. He was angry or something like that. And I went to the group, and I was telling the group that he threw this plate. And the women said, and I cleaned it up and all that stuff, and the women said, he threw a plate of spaghetti at you? What are you doing? And I said, well, I cleaned it up. You know, it's no big deal. And somebody said to me in the group, do you like him? I said, I like him? I don't know if I like him. But I mean, you know, he provides, I respect him, all these other, you know, conventional things that I thought were important at that point. And the idea stuck in my, do I actually like him, started to grow on me, and through that group is when I was able to leave Larry, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah, through my women's group.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, women.
Yeah, really.
Ed.
Hang on a second, I have to move this, because we got logistics problems.